Hey guys, welcome in. In this video, we're going to be talking about Brahms's greatest lullaby. No, I'm not talking about that lullaby. I'm talking about Brahms's greatest lullaby. This is based on a lullaby that was translated to German, and Brahms actually includes a German translation of the lullaby in the score itself. I'm going to show you some of the things that make this piece really special. But before I do that, I want to play just a little bit more for you because I know a lot of people have never even heard this piece before. So picking up where I left off earlier. Now, like I said, this is a lullaby, which we can tell from literally everything about the piece. Like, not only did he include a lullaby in the music itself, like the words to a lullaby that was well known, but also it has this 6/8 feel to it where it kind of rocks back and forth with. Many lullabies are in 3/4 or 6/8. But one other thing you probably heard from the beginning was the right hand getting stuck on this E flat octave. While the melody went, I'm going to put the melody an octave lower so you can hear it better. And from a pianist point of view, this is a really fun technique because you get to play this octave over and over again and then integrate the melody kind of with the E flats and also in the middle, like. I think this is a reference to a drone. A drone is when you have an instrument like a bagpipe that you play and you have a chanter where you can actually play different notes, but there are the drones that stick out that make a constant, maybe like perfect fifth, so everything you hear is in context of the perfect fifth, like. That really reminds me of this. You have this consistent E flat and the melody is being heard in relation to that drone. Now, another reason I really like this piece and I'd highly recommend many of you check it out is there is not a lot of Brahms available before like the middle advanced levels. There's a couple of the late pieces here and there. This is one of them that are a little more approachable. Now, I will warn you, it's hard to read, but it is more approachable technically than lots of Brahms you'll find out there. All right, this first section culminates like this. And then immediately, spooky. He tries again, then he tries a final time. Now, you are about to hear one of the weirdest moments of music. I think, obviously, if I say weirdest thing Brahms wrote, there'll be 100 comments, and rightfully so. What about all these other weird things? So for sure, we tend to talk a lot in like exaggerations and superlatives. Oh, this is the craziest thing. No, it's probably not the craziest thing Brahms wrote, but it is really weird. Let me turn the page here. In light of what we just now did, this beautiful melody, and then kind of mysterious transition. Check out the next page here. Like every time we think, okay, we're understanding it now. This is what he's doing. It's just sort of. It's also, as you can probably tell from the music here, really weird rhythmically. If you look at just the left hand, it actually makes perfect sense. We were in 6/8. We are in 6/8, I should say. And this could totally work. 1 and 2 and 1 and 2 and or if you want to count to 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. But in 6/8, we kind of expect an accent on beat 1 and beat 4, or how most people count it, 1 and 2 and those are the more emphasized notes. Check out the right hand. If you just look at the right hand and you didn't know the time signature, you would 100% think this was in 3/4. It clearly even has quarter note stem going. If you heard just this, you should be hearing 3/4. In fact, if you didn't know there's a rest there, you probably think it was 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. On top of that, we have the fact that all those 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3s I just now did were actually all on the eighth notes. They were all 1 and 2 and 3 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 1. And then on top of all of that, it's not even in 3/4. So what ends up happening, I think, as a listener, is you metrically sort of check out 2, 3, 1, 2. No, that's 1. That's 2. That's 3. Was that 1? Because the left hand's trying to convince you that 1 and 4 are the beats, and the right hand's trying to convince you the and are a group of 3 beats starting on the and. Now, you might think this is really weird that Brahms just introduced this crazy rhythm on page 2, or maybe you're thinking like, well, yeah, we started a new section and Brahms is just introducing a new rhythm. Not so fast. If you look at the thing I played, the ending of the previous section, it actually starts showing up here. The right hand is still kind of in 6/8 with, but look at the quarter notes going on here. And we have a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Check this out. This is measure 1. Notice the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. But this measure now is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Literally glance down and look at the left hand. You have 3 groups of quarter notes, 3 quarter notes of measure. It is exactly in 3/4. 1 and 2 and 3 and 1 and 2. So this second page here is actually just sort of a more obvious battle between these two rhythms. We just have 6/8 going at it against 3/4. Now, Brahms, like so many of the great composers before him, like particularly think of Beethoven, when he introduces things like this into his music, he introduces weird rhythms, he introduces weird notes. He typically not only does that and has them fight a little bit, but at some point it has to culminate and have like an outright war, and one of those two things has to win, and he has to solve the problems he's introduced in the piece. We don't mean problems in a bad way. We mean problems in a good way. He's introduced compositional issues, in this case, 3/4, battling against 6/8. And at some point, they have to have an outright war, and one of those two has to win. So check out the end of this middle section. So in case it wasn't painfully obvious before what Brahms was doing, he takes 2 measures and spells it out as clear as he possibly can. Like the left hand, literally the low note does this, 1 and 2 and 3. And the top note goes 1 and 2 and 3. And while the opposite of those notes is going 1 and 2 and 1 and 2 and up. The right hand totally supports that. 1 and 2 and 1 and 2 and but which one wins? In this giant peak of this battle, the height of the war, where it's like one of these two tempos, one of these two time signatures has to win, well, the piece is in 6/8. So unsurprisingly, I mean, forget about the cool rhythm for just a second and listen to this melody here. And then we're back to the beginning, really the beginning. And now with just 6 measures to go, it's time for Brahms to put the bow on the present and end the piece in 6/8 like it was meant to be all along. And once again, as many great composers before him do, Brahms solves the problem, but it just ended it. That's what Ryan would have done. Ryan would have been like, I was clever. The two rhythms were vague. They had a battle. We had the culmination of the battle, 6/8 and now we're just in happy world and 6/8's the end. And right when I told you it was time to end the piece, and 2, and 3, and 1, and 2, Brahms thinks and goes, oops. And then we actually get 6/8 for 2 whole measures. 2 whole measures of obvious, clear 6/8. And one of the amazing things that I love about this piece is you can not notice any of that your first time through. And you can just be amazed by the beauty of the sound, the drama of the weird middle section where we don't have a lot to hold on to, going back to this beautiful, rich, luscious, full sound. You can just love the piece for that. Then listen to it time and time again, even study it some. And then at a certain point when you're studying it, you'll be like, well, what's going on? Why are there all these quarter notes in 6/8? Why are there 3 quarter notes? And you'll start seeing them everywhere. Then you'll realize that in the background of this beautiful piece, Brahms has this crazy amount of rhythmic disturbances going on. And hey, we didn't even talk about chords much today either. This piece has so much interest in the melody, in the piano texture, in the crazy rhythms that we didn't even get around to chords much. So hopefully you enjoyed this in-depth look at Brahms. Let me know if you have a piece you want me to check out in more detail on the channel. I'll see you guys in the next video.